Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Footy Show Daily. We are discussing all the breaking news. Sometimes we can't even keep up with the breaking news. It just breaks so quickly.
I mean, that really is what breaking news is.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It just breaks after we've done a show, and there's nothing we can do about that.
That's the way it is, isn't it?
There's nothing we can do about that.
We're not live, so we've got to go with it.
We've had... Well, there was a fella on the telly who was... The fella apparently is in charge, and he said a load of words, and I think if you were to put them together in maybe a different order, they would make some sense. That was done. In terms of football can't come back till the 1st of June. Sort of knew that.
Well, professional sport.
Well, professional sport as a whole, but they're trying to get life back to normal. Slowly, and it looks like that football, Premier League football, might be able to just ease its way back in now because let's be honest, it's basically a free hit, isn't it now, by the looks of it?
Well, we said last week, didn't we? We thought that, I mean, granted, we thought the official announcement would have a little bit more clarity than what it did, but we said last week that we thought they'd wait until the government announcements and then it'd give them that free run to June the 12th, which is the date that has been bouncing around for quite some time now. And that's what happened. You know, obviously they cancelled the meeting on last Friday because of it was VE Day and bank holiday and stuff, and moved it to today, which is and not much has come out at the moment, is it? But the way to do something like that is to wait until there's an official announcement, then you can slip it in and go, well, you know, governments have said to you, like, June 1st. So therefore, we're not planning to come back till June 12th. So there's a full 11 days after we're allowed to. So no surprises there, really. There's obviously been some noise over the weekend. Brighton, third person. There have 3 people have tested positive, haven't they? All apparently asymptomatic. And then I've seen there's a few teams, because obviously there's a lot of countries now who it looked as though they were going to abandon the season, now seem to be playing again, or thinking of playing again, and notably Italy and Spain. And we've had cases in both of those countries. 3 in the top 2 divisions in Spain, although apparently they're all in the final stages of the virus. They're all fine, but they've got a quarantine and stuff. Obviously, we had the stuff over the weekend with Dynamo Dresden, so their team's gone into 2 weeks quarantine, which obviously they got no game now next weekend. And I guess if you're their opponents, you think, well, we've got another week to prepare, so to speak. So it is all going on, and obviously England is falling in line. What we'd said last week, haven't we? There was going to be a roadmap to it. Germany was that roadmap. And nothing I've read and heard since has made me change my mind.
No. Saturday would be quite interesting with the Bundesliga. Be interesting from a lot of different points of views. Like, it'd just be interesting.
I mean, I watched the K-League on Friday morning.
Why wouldn't you?
The Korean game was on BBC One Friday morning.
Was it, yeah?
1-0 win for a team I can't pronounce, but it was a good header. 10 minutes to go. It was a bit weird, but you know what? You know what was really strange? I think they either had a collection of people in the stadium when they scored, or they had some noise. But after about 10 minutes, because you're expecting it, the empty stadium, it's weird how your brain just alters slightly. So it kind of just became a game of football, rather than when we watched the PSG Dortmund game, and 8 weeks ago, it was a big thing. I think that was because you could flick over and there was 60,000 at Rangers or whatever it was. But it felt weird. But this, because you're kind of ready for it, you could still hear some players shouting, and that's never good. But what was really weird about it was the players are all there running around and battling and tackling and all that, and the referee and everything. Went to the touchline, the 2 managers had masks on, but they were pulled down. But no of the other technical staff, a couple of them had masks and the others didn't. So it was all very confusing. But when they scored, they gave it the owl and the owl thingy. So, but that made me think that our minds will probably adjust very quickly once it's back to watching games with no fans.
I still think they should have some kind of sound effect in there. I know people cringe at that, but I really think it'd help. I watched the UFC, and that was very, very strange. The whole setup of it, it was very strange. And
I guess that would be though, because it's a smaller thing.
You could hear
and you can hear the punches.
You could hear all the hits and everything, and
that's a big difference, isn't it?
But the same with like the coaches, like when they go in for the rings, they'd have like masks, and then halfway down because they've got to talk. And funny enough, I think this will be funny on when the Bundesliga starts, is how like the likes of BT here, I know they're normally in a studio. Be interesting how they do things and how the commentators, because I know in the UFC, the commentators were on different desks from each other. Yeah, at the beginning, they were all standing next to each other, and one of the guys was like, why are we standing next? How come we're allowed to stand next to each other? He said this live on TV. Why are we allowed to stand next to each other, but we've got to sit away from each other when we're doing the commentary? So that'll all be very interesting. But, in terms of the game itself.
But presenting, we could do something like this, couldn't we?
Yeah,
so
don't get me wrong, we've seen other things like the One Show in the UK,
so
where they're sitting away from and things like that.
You'd be able to do that.
But it'd just be interesting to see how they do things.
How they put it
Whether they bring like guests in from home, I don't know. But
Skype probably.
Yeah. So, but in terms of the game itself, it does seem like, certainly the Premier League, there are little factions. We've heard for weeks they're all in it together. They all want to get it finished and blah blah. But you're seeing now as that date gets closer, and I know next week they've got to basically say what's happening. As that date gets closer, we're finding that there's like little packs in the Premier League now, and apparently there's 8 teams who want the relegation abolished because of this neutral ground situation. Now 8 teams is enough. They need 14 to pass it, so 8 teams is enough to mess this whole thing up. So it's going to be very interesting how the Premier League sort this all out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I get it. I understand the arguments. I seen the Watford chairman put a statement out on Saturday with the biggest indicator. I'd seen people on Twitter going, no way, Footy's coming back. At the same time, the Watford chairman basically come out and said, it's coming back. I was like, you might want to listen to one of the people who was around the table. But he was talking about, obviously, the effects when they beat Liverpool. He was like, no way should Watford, who were bottom of the league or second bottom, beat the team that hadn't lost the game all season, and we beat them 3-0 because we were at home and we had the crowd. And I mean, what he was kind of missing was if they played them probably 10 times, Liverpool would win 9 of them. That was just the day they beat them on. But he made some...
But he beat them, Liverpool had beaten 10 in an empty stadium.
That's what I'm saying. So in an empty stadium, they'd probably beat them anyway. But he did make some good points. He was more talking about the neutral ground situation, not the crowd. I think everyone accepts there can be no crowd. We've all accepted it. We know. But...
And from the sounds of it, there's not going to be any crowds till possibly January.
There won't be.
No, that's what I'm saying.
To be honest, mate, I will be... When I remember, I've said this about 5 times now, but I remember Roger, one of our people, we told saying there won't be any in the ground till 2021. And I was like, nah, there will. But the more I think of it, I'm unsure whether there'll be anyone in stadiums for the next season. I think that whole season behind closed door thing might actually happen, because everything will just be getting pushed back, won't it? And so you're saying January, but that's around the time when lots of flus around and all that. So are you going to want to take that chance? Then you might say, well, let's move it to February and see. And then you get into a situation where why are you going to put crowd back in for the last 10 games of the season? Do you know what I mean? When the rest have been played, because you'll get people moaning about that then. Well, hang on, when you come to our ground, we didn't have any crowd, but we've got to go to your ground and it's full of your fans. So you might have all of that going on as well, because we're already seeing that in the Premier League as now.
I think the alternative, though, is to that is if people are allowed back in pubs and they're not allowed back in grounds, and there isn't we haven't got it sorted out, then there might be more problems with people being in pubs. I know you're not going to have thousands of people within pubs, but I suppose you just want to get life back to normal.
Of course you do.
And if there's something out there that sorts this out, if there's a vaccine out there that sorts it all out, then they'll just be like, I'm sure they'll be welcoming them to have football. And football teams will want fans. I can't see this. I honestly, personally, don't see football clubs worrying about the benefit, the advantage, or the disadvantage of having or not having fans in the ground. I think as soon as fans can go in grounds, I think every team will want them, because, and that's from bottom up rather than top down, because you think about all those League 1 and 2, they're the ones who are really going to suffer, aren't they? They're the ones that aren't having games like televised.
We're going to have to come up with some kind of package throughout the leagues, and maybe offer governments as well.
Yeah.
That kind of like gives those people their income.
Yeah.
While fans aren't. They're going to have to keep these clubs going, aren't they?
I worry about the other side. I mean, not the other side of the game is, if you were a League 1 or a League 2 fan and you go regularly, you're going to want to watch your team every single week play live. You know, what a massive disadvantage that is to you if you can't even watch it. And that might...
Sky though film every game.
The problem is though, Baz, is that
feed it,
it's the feed, the strain. Imagine the strain on like the telecommunications if you're trying to push that output out. That's gonna be really hard. The only alternative would be, and again, this would be at a local level, was maybe let the teams put videos out on YouTube or something. But again, that's a strain on the telecommunications. But I know that if they said to us, oh, the only games that are going to be on are the games
that Sky
put out, then
that
would be murder, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? And then what happens then? I know, listen, we all know.
Then you'll cause problems.
But we all know we could get the games, because like you've just said, the games are going to be streamed anyway. But I find that to be really bad on those. I mean, those clubs could do is maybe say League 1, League 2 is, think about someone like a Sunderland. That could be 40,000 people in every week. They could maybe say, listen, we're going to put it on YouTube, but it's not on the free YouTube, it's on the pay YouTube.
Pay for it.
You pay for it, and it's, I don't know.
But we'd all do that, wouldn't we?
Of course.
The problem is it's whose rights are they to sell. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know, and that's where the teams are going to have to come together and work all that out, because there's no way anybody is going to... The Sky who currently have the Championship and League 1 and League 2, they're not going to show every game. And I'm sure they would allow their games to be shown privately. So...
Yeah, well, they're the ones you really fear for going into it. But everything is moving towards, obviously, the restart, whether, again, we've said it a million times, but whether people like it or not. And it's a case of being able to get on with it. But the biggest challenge for the Premier League this week will be ironing out all of those things of people going, no relegation, we want that. See, from a personal perspective, I don't see how you can not have relegation, but you can give Liverpool the league. And that's not me saying Liverpool shouldn't win the league, because they should. So if Liverpool win the league, for me, you have to relegate, because you can't.
Winners and losers.
Yeah, the same with the European places. I don't see how you can award European places, but then there's no jeopardy for the bottom three. It doesn't make to me, it doesn't make sense, because it almost is like, well, we're just finishing the game so Liverpool can be given the league, or so Leicester can be given a European place or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And it creates, you either do it all or you don't do anything. So therefore, for me, this isn't about punishing Liverpool or punishing Leicester. This is about saying to those three teams at the bottom, yeah, it isn't ideal. It's not. None of us would have chosen this path. We all would love to be playing with normal scenario, fans in the ground, people just being normal, no health risks, players being relaxed and going out and playing these last 9 games of the season. However, we're not. We're in a situation with the whole world in. We've got games on the other side of the world played behind closed doors. Germany is starting behind closed doors. We're not the only ones. Now, you could come back at me and go, yeah, but it's not even the fans bit, the neutral venues, what's tearing people apart. Well, why is it tearing people apart? Why is it neutral venues then? Is it neutral venues to stop people gathering? Is it neutral venues because they feel that hygienically it's not the same? Well, those clubs could surely go in and deep clean it the day before so that it's sterilised when the players go in. If you really wanted to do it, you could have one set of players in, say it's Everton, yeah? You could have one set of players in the dressing rooms. You could have another set of players getting changed in the park end or on a coach and walking into the stadium so that they only come together when the game's on and going out. I know people are talking about showers and stuff like that, but there's ways around it.
I think the top and bottom of it is that grounds that are in city centres
They don't want
people there because
so as a club chairman, if you're a club chairman sat in that meeting, then these facts are rolled out in front of you. How can you complain about it?
You're not complaining about it. Ultimately, what you're doing is trying to find a reason for the season not to happen. Let's be honest.
Or to happen without any jeopardy.
Let's be honest. Right?
Well, that's the thing.
No, that's it.
No, but if you're Norwich, you want to be relegated.
Exactly.
So,
but there's two reasons for that. Ultimately, is Norwich are a club. Let's say Norwich.
Yeah,
and I'm not picking on Norwich. I'm just saying they're the team with bottom. They've decided that they weren't going to spend loads of money this season, right? So they've budgeted for the possibility of going down.
Of course, yeah.
Right? What they haven't budgeted for, though, is the possibility of going down to a championship that could be like a wasteland next season because there won't be any fans.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get. You're not going to be on. You're not going to get. You're right. You're going to get your parachute payments, but you're not going to get the extra money that you need to sustain you. Right? You've got your parachute payments. That's great. But if that parachute payment only sort of helps you get through the season, then it's not worth it.
But for someone like Norwich, though, that will help them massively because they'll lose money through coming in through the gates, of course. They'll lose match day revenue. But the match day revenue compared to their parachute payments is nothing.
Yeah, but
if they don't come back up.
Sponsors, though?
No, sponsors is the one.
Yeah, but the point being is, it's like, you know, you're getting this big chunk of money and then someone's taking it off you straight away, whereas normally you're just getting a big chunk of money.
Villa's the problem, I would say.
No, I know.
For the simple reason that they
but
spent...
I'm not... No, but that's Villa have... They've decided to take that chance. Norwich haven't. This is what I'm saying. Villa are the people who just throw money away, and then I'm supposed to feel sorry for them. No, I don't. But Norwich, they've behaved very sensibly, and they're doing things the right way. And they've said, well, if we go down, we're all right. We've got young players. We're not going to sell them, and we're going to try and come back up. Villa are a different case because they've just acted like knobheads. But Norwich,
but have they've tried to give themselves the best chance to stay up, haven't they?
Have they though?
No, but I'm saying
the other two teams haven't. And so you can, and I just look at Norwich and say, well, I can understand why they wouldn't want to go down, because for them going down, it's something really bad. Villa, it's almost like they're doing it to themselves.
Yeah, but it's still catastrophic for Villa.
No, it is, but they've decided to roll the dice. Norwich haven't. That's what I'm saying.
What about someone like West Ham? I'm not, regardless of how you feel about West Ham, if you're looking at it, even on the points per game and how they do the metrics, West Ham get relegated. They've budgeted big time, haven't they? But they've 60,000 in a stadium. Their budget,
but they didn't come up.
No, I know, but I'm saying their wages are big. So them dropping with no crowd, no match day revenue, and no, just them not being in the Premier League.
Rent.
And everything else, that's a disaster
for
them. And so if you're West Ham in that board meeting, you're going to be going, you need us to complete your fixtures. We ain't playing on a neutral stadium with no fans. They'll throw no fans in regardless of whether they can have them or not, because you would do. So we've got no supporters, and we're going to have to play somewhere where we don't play. And you're talking about the opportunity of us losing our Premier League status when we've paid £45 million for Seb Haller and given him $100,000 a week or whatever. You want us to go into the Championship. You're not giving us the best opportunity to stay up. They're going to fight it, aren't they? We'll play the 9 games, but we're not getting relegated. And we'll complete the season for you. So you as a broadcaster or you as a league get your money.
Ultimately, what they're doing is they're playing the game and looking for the assurances of, well, if we do play behind closed doors, where's the extra benefit to us? What are we getting more? They all want more out of it. They want more. They want an extra. If they go down, they want For Norwich, they'll want more money. If it's West Ham...
Do you think relegation will be taken off the table?
No. Well, I've flip-flopped on this, I suppose, but I think it'll all come down to TV, and the TV decide that they need the jeopardy because the league's sewn up, and that's where the jeopardy is. I mean, like we've said loads of times, this is now the Hunger Games. This is a TV sport. This is. I mean, I know it's always been a TV sport for the last 20 years, but it's very much a TV sport now, and you get to watch it all in real time, all of it, every day. I mean, the Spanish league have already said there's going to be footy on every single day, whether it be the first division or the second division. They're all fighting now.
Their budget now
for the attention. Well, no, they're looking the budget. They're fighting for your attention as a football fan who is starved, who might not be able to go to work or has nothing else they can do, depending on what the lockdown situation is in your country. And that they hope they can maybe get a big fat sponsor out of that. Blanket coverage. One sponsor maybe who covers everything. You know, that's how they'll look at it. You know, and for a big company, they might go,
well,
this is the time.
Unbelievable eyes on it,
this is the time for that supermarket or that internet company or whoever to, you know,
kickstart themselves.
Exactly,
well,
yeah, because it's all gonna come back. So the Premier League will be like, the broadcasters of the Premier League will be like, we've got a fantastic opportunity, yeah. And not only is it fantastic, but it's also the idea of, well, on Monday night you've got Norwich, and on Tuesday night you've got Villa, and on Wednesday night you've got West Ham, and it's like watch it all unfold, and then watch the other end unfold, and I think that's a key thing for them. You know, otherwise you are just watching friendlies, really, aren't you?
Yeah, if there's no jeopardy, then it is just friendly. Liverpool have won the league, and rightly so, they're miles ahead, and then the others aren't going down. So the games really are just glorified friendlies, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they'll want to pull them in. We've got the situation with, like you say, you know, Spain have come out and said June the 12th they're aiming for games every day. Italy, I guess, will probably do the same. There's also now UEFA apparently have had a meeting today to plan their football calendar, and have now said that it looks as though the Europa League and the Champions League will both be concluded in August, which is mad, because I don't, unless they're going to be able to all fly to one country, which has been mentioned, of course, Qatar, and have one-off games. I don't know how's that a thing? It's all mad.
It's not even that for me. It's the one that I think is just so funny, and I think I mentioned this last week, is, you know, the Europa League starts genuinely in June, right? The early rounds of it. So when does all that happen? And how does all that happen? I mean, so what you're basically saying to half the leagues in Europe is your Slovakians and your Slovenians and your, you know, Slovenian families and all that, is that you're not in it. You're not in it. You can't be in it this year.
For this year,
all we're going to do is take the top 5 leagues and a couple of others, and we're going to start in the group stages.
Well, that's what they'll have to do.
Because it's
the only way that those competitions can be completed.
So you are devaluing it because you're not allowing.
But they'll say, I suppose, from their perspective, they'll say, well, it's unprecedented times.
So what's the point?
We've got to do it.
So I don't know. So what's the so is that why? So Dutch and the Belgian league, let's say, well, they might as well just quit. What's the point? Because, all right,
but they'll both be in it. They'll have representatives in it because of where they finished.
Will they? I mean, we don't know, do we?
Holland have chosen Ajax as the winner.
Well, the Champions League, yeah.
And the places are done.
So I know that.
So for the Europa League, they'll just say, well, who's your top 3? Like, you're in it. There you go.
No, I know that, but that's up to you. That's whether UEFA want them in there. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they'll need a certain amount to make a competition, won't they?
So I'd just be very interested.
They'll be interested to see how it plays out.
And who isn't that line, or whether they say we can only have one from.
Well, they're taking 7 from England, aren't they? Well, they're taking 4 Champions League teams with 3.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. The top 5 leagues, but it's all the other ones.
It's all the other
and then you'll get all those people going, what? That's what I'm saying. That's where
there's got to be some cut-off at some stage. They're not going to... I know I've heard people go, they should just not have them next year. There's not a chance they're not having them.
No, it's
but then the other issue then is flying in and out of countries. When
quarantine for 2 weeks. You've got to have quarantine for 2 weeks before you play Europa League.
It's going to be... It is. I mean, the reality is really what they could and should probably just scrap them for next season, both of those competitions, really, and put all their efforts...
Play it all in Jacksonville.
But they should just scrap them and just go, look, we're focusing on Euro 2021, UEFA, and all our European competitions restart then. Because that way, then people aren't having to fly in and out, so you can get your country more or less. But then they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop people travelling in and out of these countries soon, are they? That's international travel. For me, international travel will be back in August.
I don't know.
Because holiday companies are saying we need...
How can you go on holiday, though?
But that's what they're going
to do. But how can you go... Why would anyone go on holiday?
I'm saying you would, but some people will.
Yeah, but some people... That's because they're thick.
But they might just look... They might just weigh up the risks.
Are there enough thick people?
I don't know. I don't know is the answer. But...
for the outlandish things out.
For the purpose of today, for the thing, obviously, I think things have moved slightly because now... Last week it was even though we were saying it's definitely, even though we were saying it's definitely coming back, I think now the clubs themselves know it's so.
The bar's gone down. It's that simple as that. The bar's gone down. We've all been, I can go out and play heads and volleys with my missus. No worries now from Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. So it's listen. I think
heads and volleys with me.
That's what we're gonna do.
I personally think, just to recap. Relegation won't be bombed. I think they'll have relegation, and I think the 9 games will be played.
It starts like this. Neutral venues, we don't want relegation, right? That's where you start, and then you go like that. But neutral grounds can't be taken off the table. That's the interesting thing.
So that they then get an extra kickback, those clubs?
Well, that's what they're looking for.
We'll give you another 10
That's what they're looking for. They're looking for more money or something. Or I don't know what they're looking for, but obviously money is going to be the big factor because they all know it's not about being relegated. It's about being relegated now. That's ultimately the thing. So I'm sure it'll get concluded because what we heard as well is that the Premier League are going to put pressure on them.
Some clubs are back this week, aren't they? Some training ground. Well,
you're not officially.
Half of them are open.
You're not officially, I don't think, allowed to start training until next Monday.
It seems like Arsenal have been back.
No, they've been back in.
I know they've been doing small groups and social.
No, it's not even small groups. It's one-on-ones.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I think so. It's just like you go in with your own kit on.
Do a bit.
Because that's one of the other things that've been talking about for the grounds is teams turning up in their kit, playing the game, and then staying in their kit, getting straight back on the bus and going to their hotel or wherever they are.
No, I know. Just sweating and all that. Dangerous for the coach, isn't it?
I suppose they probably think it's easier to deep clean a coach.
Do you think, just finally, do you think it's when people are looking at this with football coming back and people are going, I've got a social distance, how can you possibly talk about playing matches? But do you think we almost have to look, because I do you think we almost have to look at football as not the same as us? Does a footballer feel like that though? I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Are they just becoming cattle then?
I'm just saying to you, when you're looking at it, do you look at it as what's good for the goose is good for the gander, or do you go, the footballers, they'll be tested and they've got medics on hand and they've got this and they've got that, so they're in a better position than we are almost, because the only way we're getting tested if we go and
listen, we are fully understand that Premier League clubs are apparently they've paid $4 million for private tests
that weren't going to the NHS. Right.
I don't think they'd be asked if they were or they weren't. Most
no, what I'm just saying. But, that's what they're saying.
They've decided that, but I still don't think that's any comfort for football. If you play a game of football, right, and you've gone up against somebody and you've grappled with them, sweat and all the rest of it, how are you going to feel about going home that night and you've got kids and your missus or whatever or whatever, is that going to be on your mind during the game? Are you going to be 100% focused?
I don't think anyone will.
Well,
Or
and
are they professional enough that it isn't the case?
Hang on, isn't that's not
No, I don't
that's
mean
not the right word.
professional wasn't the right word. Are they, because they're professional
In the zone.
they get into that
But
mode where they're just playing the game?
I don't think, and that's the problem though, I think that's the ultimate problem is they're going to feel like friendlies, but are they going to be played like friendlies? Because actually, footballers, some of them might not want to be there, and if they don't want to be there, then
I think if they don't want to be there, they should hold their hand up and then not play.
Yeah, but then that's not ultimately what we're doing is we're just watering it down.
It is going to be. It's going to be, isn't
so
it?
then, and I'm
Because
not
I
saying,
think, you know what I think is happening very quickly? And
You've said that about 8 times.
But I think what they're doing is this is the starting point for next season. So these
Of course
nine
it is.
games are literally just get this done and we'll do it this way. And what we'll learn we take into next season. So this might be a watered down, very sterile 9-game situation.
So then do the teams at the bottom have a point about relegation? Because ultimately, if it was just a experiment, then it's all fine and well and good. But there's real consequences because normally, if football clubs employ this fella and that fella, video analysis guy doing all kinds, and they go, "I'm gonna have to let you go. Maybe you just simply can't afford you now." But then you double that, and you're going, not only can we not afford you, we can't afford that extra first team coach or that fella who's on that salary, and we can't afford for you all to have club cars, and not in the players, I mean some of the staff, and it just becomes.
No.
That's where it just becomes. I think this is the ultimate argument, is that it just all starts to feel like it's more than just playing a game of football for these people.
Of course it is. Yeah.
So it's going to be a very interesting week. I don't know what we're going to get from the Premier League today or whatever, but it's going to be a very interesting week because UEFA want to know next week. So there you go. I don't know if anyone has got any more clarity on this situation than, you know, from today or over the weekend or whatever. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. You fully understand the clubs near the bottom wanting relegation to be taken off the table, or do you just think it should go, you know, if you're going to play it, you're playing it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more great videos, including live shows every single day, over on Patreon, the link is in the description. See you later.